This is Unit 2, Day 2, Creating and Explaining Graphs, and then it goes into Unit 2, Day 3, which is more with graphing. So we are taking graphing and we are creating a story or a scenario to go along with these graphs. So you'll notice the graph that I have on the screen has an x-axis of minutes and a y of distance. Okay, a lot of times the y is elevation as well, which is height above sea level. For this one, it's distance from home. So let's make a scenario to go with this graph. So the first thing that we have to look at is we have to kind of block out the different parts of this graph. So this is part number 1 here, from 0 to 2. And then from 2 to 6 we see a change, so that's going to be part 2. And then we see another change from 6 to 10, so that's going to be part 3. So we just need to make sure that we cover all 3 parts when we are writing our scenario. So let's just say we can name our person Stephen, okay? And we have to make this scenario believable. So we have a time frame of 10 minutes, and we have the maximum distance from home. Well, we don't really have a scale there, but obviously it's not too far, right? So we have a 10-minute journey, so a lot of times we take a walk or a jog in 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and say that for Section 1, and just for the background, we'll say Stephen goes for a jog. Okay, he leaves home, and we know it's home because of our Y label. He leaves home, and now we have to say something about the rate. So I mean, he's traveling pretty fast, right? He's definitely jogging. So he leaves home and jogs at a constant, because it's definitely a constant rate. We're not changing from that 0 to 2 minute interval. At a constant rate for 2 minutes. Okay, so we're done with Section 1. Now we have to decide what's going on in Section 2. Well, I can tell by the steepness of the incline of the line that Stephen has definitely slowed down. All right, he's not jogging anymore. So we make up a scenario where he meets up with a friend, okay? Stephen meets a friend and slows to a walk for 4 minutes. All right. We have Section 2 covered. Now what happens from 6 to 10 minutes? Well, he's getting closer to home, right? Because our distance from home is going down. It's decreasing. But our rate is increasing because that line is super steep. So that means that Stephen sped up. So then Stephen turned around and ran home. There you go. So now you've made up a scenario for this particular graph. So let's check out another one. Okay, this one appears on the homework. All right. So we're dealing with time in seconds on our x-axis, and then on our y-axis, this is distance. And I know that's not labeled, but in the picture, but now it is. Okay. So we're dealing with time in seconds, so whatever is happening pretty fast, right? And covering a pretty fair amount of distance. So let's go ahead and separate this. Okay, this is our first section. And then this is our second one because we've changed direction. Okay, so if you change direction or you change steepness, this is our third section, and this is our fourth section. So we have to address all of them. So in the first, well, when you make up your scenario for your homework, just make sure that you include that there's a constant rate of speed, right? Constant rate of speed, okay, and we're increasing distance for both of those pink areas. Now, for this blue area here, this one, notice that we are decreasing distance. So in this scenario, maybe the person turned around for some reason. Okay, maybe to catch up with a friend, to mail a letter, maybe he forgot his lunch halfway and he texted his mom who met him part of the way. Okay? Then we start increasing distance again. Notice again, constant rate of speed. And then right here is where we level off. Okay, so this means that there's waiting happening. There's no movement. Okay, so maybe the person's waiting for a bus. Maybe they're waiting to meet a friend. Something like that. Okay, there's no movement at all. We're not increasing distance away from our beginning. We're just simply standing still. Okay, so those are all the different things that you want to put in your scenario. That there's a constant rate of speed at any point, all right? And that the blue part, the first one that I indicated, that there's a decrease in distance, and at the end, there's waiting or there's no movement. So you can go ahead and make up a scenario to go with that for your homework problem.